with this Babalola story with DELE FAROTIMI, you will begin to realize how we got here, how we got where we are as a country, as a nation, as a people. Because if you hire a manager over the years and the person spends a number of time only to put you at a spot where you can either say you are successful or not, what will you deduce from that? You can only say that wherever you find yourself is a product of the efforts of the manager of that business or firm. So in this case, when we have legal luminaries, not just Afe Babalola, all the people who have contributed to the country since its inception, you will realize that the questions we have been asking about how we got here, about how the country became so rotten that everybody is looking helpless and asking what next, what can we do, that every Nigerian, everybody is now looking for a superhero, a messiah to bring the country out of the mess we have found ourselves. If a people discover that things are not going well, you are running a family, you are running a business, you are running anything in this life, and you realize that I've not been doing the right thing. How do you know you've not been doing the right things? It's the results you get. What is expected is that you begin to rebuild. You go back to the drawing board and say, what have I done that I didn't do properly? What have I been doing that is giving me the kind of results that I've been getting? And in the case of Nigeria, the judiciary has a very big role to play. We cannot rule out what our system has become from the judiciary, because the human nature is such that it's built to be free, to behave anyhow, to just have his way. It's systems, it's rules, it's laws that keep people aligned and doing the things they are supposed to do the way they are supposed to be doing it. And in the society, what are the institutions that make sure that rules, that systems are upheld, that principles continue, and that standards are kept? What defines our national identity? What defines our values as a people? The institutions that help us align as people. So the judiciary is very crucial if the politicians are misbehaving like normal, because power can corrupt you. If you don't make a personal commitment, that power will not corrupt you. Power can corrupt you. So the judiciary is there to be making politicians, the legislature, the executive align. But what has happened to us is that we all got mixed in the same pool, that nobody is calling the other to order. That's how we got here. So the happenings in recent times tells us how we got where we are, and it's a pointer to where we should be making changes, areas we should be focusing on. And the generations that are coming up that have used these people who we revere as legal luminaries as examples, and are now seeing that they are as helpless as the flesh in them, that they've not made commitments to uphold the rule of law, uphold the right things, we'll begin to not make them our yardstick and our standards or our examples now. Begin to chart a new course, because I am worried about the next generation. Things continue with generations. In the case of Afe Babalola, somebody that is revered in his position will take the stance he's taking, and from his statements, it's obvious that he's so hardened. He's still hardened, and they are saying that the approaches we are taking is the best we can do. Meaning that nobody gives what he doesn't have. These people have also been built this same way, and they are struggling, not knowing the difference between standard practices, world best practices, and where they find themselves. They need help. I believe they need help. So from their statements, they are saying this is the best things we did. Nigeria and its recent issues with defamation and cyber laws and all the things they are coming up with, in fact, it's raising a lot of questions. If you say somebody defamed you, will you lock the person for days? Will you use the high-handedness they are using on the DELE FAROTIMI case? Are they supposed to now bring the states into it because the police is buying the case? And we're wondering who actually has a case with DELE FAROTIMI, who actually has a case with this guy. They are supposed to argue their cases in court, and if the man has a case, the court knows what to do with the offender. So as a country, we have to begin to now look inwards and make sure that things like this do not continue. We don't have to be hardened in our own ways. We have to now begin to look at how countries of the world are doing it. Those who want humanity not to be endangered, how they are doing it. So each passing day in the country shows us how we got here, and a pointer to what we should do next to get out from where we got here. Because where we are now as a people is not where you would want to sustain. It's not what you would want to continue. It's not what should be upheld. And no matter how people are praising it, it will not be right. It can never be right. And what has happened to us is that when we are not the ones involved, we feel that those people who are doing it are doing the right thing. Well, everybody is power crazy, if I should use that expression. Everybody is tossed around with any form of power, any level of power. When you know somebody is like, do you know me? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I know? When you're in a position of authority, it's like, I have arrived. Those people who have jobs in Nigeria now, who are in the government, who are civil servants, somehow they feel like I'm better than the next person. But we don't have to build a society where we are better than the other, or where there is somebody who is so powerful to do anything he likes without recourse to authority, to rules, to rights. So what should be? So we as a people should begin to go back to the drawing board as individuals, as family, as institutions, as businesses. This is one thing we have failed to realize, that individuals are units of a state, of a country. If I begin to work on myself as a person, and the next person is working on himself, making sure that at no point will I be caught up with these tendencies, with the tendency of suppressing the next person. Collectively, we're going to be a better country. Let's give it some years and say 10 years from now, some of the things we are seeing, we will no longer see them. We will no longer see them. If we put these timelines as individuals and begin to build ourselves, make researches as how things are done, because the examples we are seeing in the country now, no, those are not the examples we should uphold. Our governments too, sometimes we believe that they have good intentions. Sometimes we believe that they are caught up with a system where things are done in a particular way, and the human nature is such that it will keep going. It will keep going all the way. And nobody is calling the other to order. So everybody is like rolling in it and feeling helpless. And after the state of feeling helpless, it becomes normal. It becomes normal, the right thing to do. That survival nature that Africa has taken. The survival nature of trying to get it whichever way you can. Fix it whichever way you can. Not minding whose ox is God. Is not what we should sustain. It's my prayer that God will help us as a people to make that commitment that we can never continue on the trajectory we are in now. We call on the government to look inwards. We believe they have good intentions, but they are not doing the right things. We cannot hide it. We cannot pamper it. We cannot embellish it. We are not going to praise you guys. Even the Bible told us that a child whom God loves, he chastises. If God loves you, he tells you where you're not doing the right things. If your parents love you, they tell you where you're not doing the right things. I'm going to stop here. Another time when we have a life like this, we'll open up so that people can call in and air their views. We have to begin to build our country. We have to build our country so that anybody who bears the tag of a Nigerian will be proud to identify with it, will be proud to fight for her, will be proud to work for her good and not run away. People are not proud of running away from their country. The places we run to, people built them. They are built by laws, by rules, by standards. And what is difficult about doing the same thing that other people did to get the kind of results they have gotten? It starts from the will. It's a matter of choice. It's a collective will. And may God help us, as our national anthem says. So help us